Nice. Morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the regular TUD Board Meeting of Tuesday, January 27th. And if you would all rise and join me in the pledge, I would appreciate it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible. Okay, thank you. So this is a public forum time. The board welcomes public attendance and comments on district matters. This section is reserved for items not on the agenda. The board may not discuss or take action on these items, but values and considers all input. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board? Seeing none, I will close that. Bring it back. Melissa.
Okay, closed session. Item A, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, initiation of litigation pursuant to paragraph 4 of subdivision D of section 54956.9, case.
Okay, well then I guess we will convene to close session. Ready, Melissa? Okay, we'll come back into open session. There's nothing to report from our closed session. And before we get rolling here, we'll open back up the public forum. Is there anyone that wishes to address the board? Come forward if you would, and to the podium.
I just want to sort of try and give a rundown on why we're here today. We moved here in 2008. I got hired on to work in the emergency room.
I'm sorry, I can hardly hear you.
So my name is Steve Joy, wife Kathy sitting back here. We live at the end of Marshall Way. And we came here in 2008 when I got hired on to work in the emergency room. First year we rented because we wanted to decide where we wanted to end up in Tuolumne County and like the Twain Harte area. So Kathy had looked at many, many homes and ended up liking this house. My thought at the time had been that we would try and buy land and build a home, but she really liked the house. So I said we needed to find out for sure what was going to happen with the TUD property, the old Cherry Pines Golf Course. And when we contacted them in 2008, 2009, not sure when that was exactly, we're told that the water treatment plant was going to go in upstream on the other side of the flume in that big opened area as well. So that was a long ways away. And we said, well, that's probably not going to have much impact. So we went ahead and put an offer in on the home that we ended up purchasing. The next summer, I did put a garden in knowing it was on TD property. And there was two reasons for that. One, it was the only place that got real sunlight because we had trees on our property and the garden wouldn't have worked. Two, it was so far away from the treatment plant, didn't think it was going to be a big issue. So I put the garden in and everything seemed to be fine. The prior general manager had talked to us about, depending on what happened, maybe the garden would have to go out. So we sort of knew that up front. Much later on, the decision was made to put the plant right near our home. And that was less than ideal, but it was what it was. Kathy went to the first meeting along the flume where I think she met Eric Johnson at the time and was told then that with the way the plans were, it didn't seem like the garden was going to be an issue and it would not be a problem. When I heard that, I ended up putting in a greenhouse so that we could get the starts processed earlier, so we had plants going, et cetera. Since then, we've been intermittently looking at all the different plans. For a long time, it still seemed like the garden was going to be not necessarily impacted, and more recently now we're being told the garden has to come out. The garden isn't really just Kathy and I, although we do benefit the most from it. You know, I grow a lot of different fruits there, vegetables, a lot of stuff goes into the ER and it's offered out. We have different people that come and pick the berries at our house. The blackberries are thornless, so it's good for kids. So multiple people I work with, people that Kathy swims with, have come up with either kids or grandkids as well to pick it. So it's, even though it is, I guess, our garden, it's not specifically our garden. I guess my side is I don't understand why you guys can't put yourselves in our shoes. And it just seems like if you're going to put the treatment plant there, you would try and minimize the impact on the local neighborhood as well, including, I mean, we're probably most directly impacted by it. I'll be the first to admit that. I've made multiple offers to buy the property, haven't got a response one way or the other. It seems like the treatment plant wouldn't be affected at all by keeping the garden there. More recently, it sounds like the road is going to come right next to our house, which is obviously less than ideal for many reasons, not the least of which is for a home resale if we end up leaving. But in addition, I'd like to say that I've actually put in many, many hours of work indirectly for TUD. Many trees have been dropped in the meadow above our house that were just left there with a huge fire risk. I've limbed all those trees. I've stacked up the rounds, burned it all in the winter time when there was not fire risk. Easily 100 hours worth of work. In addition, the existing bridge that people have been using is the one that I actually put in because the bridge that used to be there was rotted and would tip when you stepped on it. So it was a risk. So I pulled that out and put the new bridge in. And I don't know if there's even an easy solution one way or the other, but it's not really just Kathy and I that this is impacting. The other issue I'm not really sure I understand is the newest plans have the tanks going in right across the ditch, right next to the house. Again, having much more impact on both me and the other people in it. So I'm just hoping you guys can sort of put yourselves in our shoes and understand that I don't understand why any of this is even an issue because there's plenty of places for the roads to cross the ditch near the house as well. And if you don't think that's true, you could come out and we can walk the ditch. I can show you a couple spots that would easily have the road going across the ditch. You got anything to add at all? Oh, actually, I will say one other thing. No, that's fine. I don't know if there's any questions at all. I mean, I'd like to try and discuss it. We had planned, there were going to be multiple people coming here as well to back us because we had been told that Supervisor Kirk was coming, but apparently he couldn't come. So we sort of told those people it didn't make sense to come. But I wanted to at least get it out there. It's not just us. I mean, it's a lot of other people who benefit from it as well.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And it's going to go to staff and
Okay.
That's where it'll go.
Okay, and there's another meeting in a couple weeks, correct?
Yeah, we have first
Every
Tuesday
2
and,
weeks, right?
second Tuesday and fourth Tuesday.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. All right, Melissa, moving on.
Okay, consent calendar. Item number 1, minutes of the regular board meeting of January 13th, 2026. Item number 2, reject claim for damages, claim 25-06, AmeriGas.
Does anyone want to pull anything from the consent calendar? Seeing none? Then I'll looking for a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor? All right.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Melissa, you're up again.
Okay, regular business. Item number 3, investment report as of December 31st, 2025.
Well, good morning.
Wait for it all day.
This item in front of you today is an item that you do get this investment report in your board packet quarterly. But usually about once a year, I like to have our investment advising company actually come and present the report in more detail to you and answer any questions that you may have. And so today, we have Steve Huntley from Chandler Asset Management, Inc. They are our investment advising company that we've had since about 2020 or 2021. He is a senior portfolio strategist with the company, and he is here to kind of go through the investment report with you. And then, spoiler alert, we've got another item related to this, our investment policy, which is after this one, which he'll also answer any questions regarding that when we get to it as well. So anyways, here he is. He is joining us remotely. And can you hear us, Steve? And you're all set to go?
Yes, thanks, Carolyn. Hopefully
Perfect,
everyone
thank
can
you.
see my screen. I've shared the report here. And if technology is working right, you're hopefully not staring back
Yes.
at a picture of yourself. So
You can see it.
great. Well, as Carolyn mentioned, my name is Steve Huntley. I'm a senior portfolio strategist here at Chandler Asset Management. I work on the investment team with Kara, who probably reported to you last year. So she says hello. She wasn't able to make it. She's at home with a brand new, beautiful baby girl. So she is otherwise busy, as you can imagine. So I'm going to, my goal today is basically to give you a quick economic backdrop to what's going on with your portfolio as far as the positioning and the performance. And then I'm happy to take any questions you have, but I will keep this brief. I recognize that not everyone is as passionate about economics as I am probably. So especially at 9 in the morning or 10 in the morning now. So I will move on quickly, but happy to take questions if you have them. So first and foremost, I'm going to flip over here to page 4 of the report. If I were to summarize 2025 as far as economics and the investment markets, it would be difficult to do. It was very volatile, dramatic. There's a lot of news out there, unless you were living under a rock. I'm sure you probably heard some of those things, probably some trade wars and tariffs that were introduced in 2025. There was a 43-day government shutdown, which is the longest one we've ever had in history. We've got the one big beautiful bill, issues with budget deficits and national debt interest expense hitting the $1 trillion mark, a U.S. downgrade by one of the national rating agencies. And then amidst all of that, an unexpectedly healthy economy, 3 rate cuts by the Federal Reserve Board, Supreme Court cases regarding the Fed independence and the legality of tariffs, and then, of course, record high stock market and commodity prices. So definitely all over the place. But the great news is I'll cut to the chase, is that this has actually been a positive thing for your portfolio. We have positioned it accordingly, and I'm happy to report that it's really firing on all cylinders right now. So I'm happy with where that's going. But regarding the backdrop for your portfolio, just as a reminder, we are subject to California government code, which means that we are only allowed to invest in fixed income securities. So no stock market, no commodities, but this is bonds. And so it's very influenced by whatever the Federal Reserve does with its rates. Well, the Federal Reserve has been patient with its rates and has not done much until just recently. It did 3 quarter-point cuts in a row. So that is spurred mostly by this graph here on the left. We saw some weakness here in the job markets. And so in order to make sure that people stay employed, the Federal Reserve cut rates. It makes borrowing money cheaper, and that hopefully spurs businesses to hire more folks, because 70% of our economy is driven by the consumer. And so the consumer is not going to continue to buy things if they don't have a job. So you can see that as a result of that, unemployment has ticked up just a little bit from where it was before. But the other mandate that the Fed is looking at is what's going on with inflation. And so inflation, you can see, is still above this orange line. This is the 2% average. That's the target. And it's still a little bit higher than that, but you can see that it's come down significantly from where we were in 2022. So the Federal Reserve is trying to balance getting the economy to stay healthy while not triggering more inflation, but making sure that people have access to all the jobs that they need. Retail expenditures have been stable, but not exceptional. Consumer confidence has been negative. The consumer's been pessimistic, yet still active. So their mood about the economy is not so great, but what they're actually doing is proving otherwise. We have some leading indicators that are telling us that the economy, while still healthy, is not quite as robust or fast as it used to be. And we've seen some weakness in housing prices, but this is to be expected when supply increases. And so we're needing more supply in the state. In addition to that, manufacturing has still been weak, but services, we're largely a service-driven economy. And so services have been strong. And what this leads us to is the GDP. This is the overall measure of the economic strength of the country. And you can see this is healthy. We started the year with an expectation of about 1.9% growth. And what we actually got was closer to 2.5%, which was the same for 2024. So unexpectedly strong, and that's a good thing. So what has the Federal Reserve done that influences your portfolio? Well, they've moved from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing. And what that means is quantitative tightening, if you can think about it this way, is the Federal Reserve tapping the brakes on the economy. They don't want it to be too hot. They don't want inflation to take off again. But now they've switched from tapping the brakes to putting their foot on the gas just a little bit, because we want to make sure that the economy stays healthy. And in addition to that, the other tool they use is they've cut these overnight rates, and this allows businesses to borrow money at a cheaper rate, hopefully spurring growth. So that's the economy as largely. I'm going to move to more of what's going on with the portfolio directly, but I'll pause here if you have any questions about the economy at this point. Hearing none, I will continue to move on. So the yield curve here, this is a great way to measure what's going on with your portfolio. So this dotted purple line, I hope you can see, this is a year ago. And then this solid green line on the graph on the right, this is as of December 31st. So you can see the front end, this left side has moved down substantially, and that's the directly impacted by the Federal Reserve cutting those rates. So your more liquid investments are going to be seeing lower returns in the future, and your longer term rates are actually now going to be much more appealing. But we positioned your portfolio to anticipate this change. So what that means is we've locked in higher rates for longer, but we've also purchased securities that will increase in value as this yield curve comes down. Because remember, there's an opposite reaction to rates and prices. So when rates go down, the price or the value of the bonds that you hold actually goes up. And so what that means for your portfolio, I'm going to skip right ahead through this compliance information and straight to the performance. Sorry for all the flipping here. Is that you are now at 12 months, you have a return of just over 6%, which is very healthy. And on an annualized basis, so this is if you take your returns over 2 years, include the compounding, you're now averaging 4.9% over 2 years and 4.84% over 3 years. But more importantly, we're finding value for you. So over the benchmark, you're actually looking at close to 40 basis points of value over a hypothetical standard that's out there that you could acquire at no cost. So really good performance that we're happy with, and your portfolio is headed in the right direction, so we're happy with that. I can get into more details if you'd like, but that is really the point I wanted to show you, is that the economy is strong, and there are some weak spots that are being worked on, but we are at a place now where we're happy with the performance of your portfolio and happy to take any questions if you have them at this point.
I don't think we have any. Thank you.
Great.
It's easy not to ask questions when things are going good, so.
So then I guess that brings us to the next item on the agenda, where it's actually approving a resolution. Oh, I'm sorry.
So to accept? Okay. So I will bring it to the board for a motion to accept.
I move we accept.
I'll second it.
Okay, no further discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Oh, that was a tough one.
It was a good presentation.
Yep. Thank you.
We like those positive ones.
My pleasure.
Okay, item number 4, consider approving a resolution revising the district investment policy.
Okay, great. And so another element or service that Chandler provides to us is that when we originally contracted with them, I believe they wrote the investment policy, and then they also review it every year to make sure that it's still in compliance with statute, as well as to recommend any best practices. And so they have done that this year. Last year, we didn't actually go through this process with the board because they didn't have any recommendations last year for any changes. This year, they do have a couple, and there was in your packet, the red line version of the things that are changing or proposing to be changed. And most of them had to do with statute, and there was a couple best practices in there, but I'll turn it over to Steve so he can describe those a little bit more.
Thank you, Carolyn. All right, and Mr. President and Board of Directors, I'm going to summarize the changes that were made to the policy rather than going through the multiple pages. I hope that's okay with you. But we can talk about the actual changes if you'd like. But in summary, what I can tell you is that the changes to the policy really are a result of 2 statutory changes. So at the state level, that we have no control over, to the government code that we are required to follow. And then the final change is just a best practice to give the agency the most flexibility in their investments going forward. So first and foremost, we did make a change to an investment called commercial paper. This is short-term debt that's issued by businesses. You don't currently have any direct exposure to this, but there were some Senate bills that were passed that extend the maturity out on that type of investment, Those are Senate Bill 595 and Senate Bill 858. I don't know the legal term. I'm not an attorney, but both those Senate bills were for lack of a better term, squished together and turned into one bill. So it's actually Senate Bill 595. And so this changed the sunset provision on extending the maximum maturity from 270-day maturity on those type of investments to 397. In addition to that, there were also some changes regarding Assembly Bill 2618, and this updated the limits, the naming convention, and sunset provisions for placement service deposits. So this is, think about a basket of CDs that you could potentially invest in. The agency is not exposed to any of these types of investments right now, and I don't anticipate that we would be. They're a little bit too constraining for what we're trying to do as far as the restrictions and the trade-off for the return. But just wanted to make the update to the policy so that we're in compliance with code. And then finally, we made an update to the local government investment pool section of the policy. We just wanted to expand that out to the full I guess, a description of LGIPs, as they're called, as defined by the MSRB. So this is a regulatory agency that says there's 3 types of LGIPs. The policy mentioned 2, and we just wanted to make sure that you had everything at your disposal if need be. Right now, your agency is taking advantage of one of those types of LGIPs, and it's proven to be very successful. So we did make those updates. It not only updates the allowable investment section, but actually updates the prohibited investment section as well. So some slight language changes, nothing of concern or really note. We just wanted to align the policy with state law and add some language to meet best practice regarding those LGIPs. Happy to take any questions, but that was the extent of my report.
Go ahead, Director Kearns.
So it just, all these changes basically are legislature driven.
Yes, 2 of the 3 generally, yes. And the third just as a best practice, giving you more flexibility on options.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Absolutely.
Anyone else? Okay, well, thank you for the presentation, explaining it to us. I'm glad I didn't have to figure it out. I guess I'm looking to the board for a whether we're going to approve this resolution, revising it or not.
I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay.
I'll make the, sure I got the right thing here. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution revising the district investment policy.
Thank you. Second. Okay, if there's no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, passes. Melissa, you're up again.
Thank you, Steve. Thanks.
Thanks,
Thank
Steve.
you.
Okay, item number 5, Board President's discussion regarding board representatives for committees and organizations.
Okay, do you have anything to say before I get started here?
Although, as per usual, you and I have met on a number of occasions to talk about many things, and this being one of them. So I'm in the know and have had conversations with you on this
Okay,
topic.
so before I get started here, was there any questions from anybody on the assignments, for the committees and representatives that came out? Anyone have any questions? No? Okay, if not, then I put together a few thoughts, so I'm going to run through them as quick as I can. Just to clarify how we got to where we're at right now. The assignments that you see on that sheet were made by experience. The people assign the experience that they may have that would fit into that situation, but also, and maybe even more so, the interest shown and the effort put forth in order to be in that position. In my opinion, what counts is not what you say you will do, but what you have done and are doing. The ratepayers and the TUD staff are expecting positive results for the money spent, because it costs money for us to be representatives and so on of those various committees or groups. Trips to Aqua and other trade organization meetings by board members paid for by the ratepayers is not for a vacation experience, but rather to educate the board member so that he or she will perform better as a board member and provide the best possible direction for the TUD organization, saving money in the long run. I hope that we all are of a understanding of that. Assignments require real preparation and involvement, not just attendance. I mean, what's the use of being on a representative to something or be on a committee if you're just show up and gonna do it all right there at the time? Put a little effort into it. Directors assigned to committees or groups that are to provide direction for legislative advocacy or decisions involving TUD operations must first educate themselves as to how those certain issues will positively and or adversely affect TUD operations and the ratepayers. Have discussed the same in detail with TUD GM and possibly the staff as directed by the GM and full board, and brought the complete issue before the full board for final discussion and approval before any vote or action is taken on any such issue by that committee member. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand? In other words, you can't have somebody on a committee or a representative from TUD that's voting for something that the GM and staff and most likely the whole board is 180 degrees out of. We need to make sure that that representative is making a vote that represents what TUD needs to have done. Director Reel, I want to acknowledge and thank you for your stepping up to get as educated as possible on numerous and various issues so that you can serve in the best way possible for the ratepayers and the TUD organization. I mean that. I appreciate that. Director Kearns, I want to acknowledge and thank you for your stepping up to cover the very important areas of Aqua JPIA, insurance, and all that other good stuff that we usually don't like to hear the news on, but lately you've been bringing back some good stuff. Aqua Region 3, Mountain Counties issues, and the Tuolumne County LAFCO, especially with all the issues arising at the Tuolumne County and city levels as of late. That is, you and Director Reel don't realize how important that really, well, I think you do. And I know you're learning really quickly, but we are a big part of that because we're water and sewer. So thank you for what you guys are doing. Director Hollis, thank you for taking on the sewer committee. That includes participation in the regional sewer committee meetings representing the TUD organization. Be interesting how that's all going to roll out the next year. Director Jacobs, after a discussion between General Manager Perkins and myself, we approved your request to represent TUD on the Aqua Federal Affairs Committee. To my knowledge, TUD has not previously had representation on that committee. I'm going back 12 plus years. I can never remember anybody being on that committee from TUD. While I have personally had reservations about the value of this particular committee and the associated use of ratepayer funds, I also recognize your enthusiasm and commitment. I did not want to discourage that, and I am fully open to being proven wrong about the potential benefits this involvement may bring to our ratepayers. I do want to note that travel to Los Angeles area for these meetings can cost approximately $3,000 per trip, funds that otherwise could support our ongoing infrastructure needs. In the past, I've been able to engage legislative representatives, including Congressman McClintock, on TUD matters from right here in Sonora, without incurring travel costs or stipends. That said, I sincerely wish you success in this role. We will all look forward to seeing the results of your participation and how it may positively impact the district and its ratepayers. Good luck. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions or comments about it. But that list that you've got in front of you is what we're going to try and roll with for this next year. And hopefully we all can provide a real benefit to our ratepayers, who are our bosses. With that, I'm done. Melissa, guess we can move on.
Okay. Item number 6, update on district operations for December 2025.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I am happy on behalf of Eric Hall, our operations manager, everybody else in operations, and all of the different people that contribute to putting together these operations report. These are pretty valuable reports for me, for staff, for the board, and for the public who wish to use it in whatever manner. But for me personally, it's been very valuable. I've referenced these many, many times throughout the week. I'll go back. Thank you, Eric. I'll go back, many years when I think about the last time we did one thing or another. And so anyway, I'm really happy that we have the opportunity to do this, and I'm just proud to present it. So Abby, are you going to pull it for me? Up. Okay, I don't see it, but that's good enough. I don't know, that's okay. Oh, there it is. So I'll just flip through a few of these pages and talk about some of the highlights. And then of course, we'll have some time for questions and answers. So I'm going to just turn the page. On page 3, you can just see some of the work that the raw water division was doing with some down trees. That's pretty typical, and some other repairs and leaks and things of that nature. Skipping page 4. Water supply, Eric Hall, if you have any questions later on after I'm done about water supply, you may start noticing how dry things have been, how warm things have been, and you might be concerned a little bit about water supply. There's no reason to panic today at all, but if you have some specific questions at the end, Eric will be happy to answer. Skipping all the way past page 7, water treatment, everything seems to be pretty normal for this time of year, especially considering the weather. From a demand standpoint, everything seems to be about normal. Page 8, I want to draw your attention to bullet number 6, remote meter upgrade project is ongoing, although it's pretty much has a nail in the coffin there. There's a few stragglers that are larger in size, trickier in for whatever nature, but it's pretty much accomplished. I probably repeat myself, and I probably will for months. I'm really proud of the work and the effort and the ability for our operations and finance staff to pivot and adapt to opportunities and make this thing happen for the betterment of all of us.
Yeah, I'm really proud of staff for tackling this thing and getting it done. I mean, I've said this before, this was a dream back a number of years ago. Thank you for getting it done. Were we able to transfer the crews that put those in to other positions here in TUD? Because they now have some experience under their belt. That would,
Oh,
That's
I
pretty
see the
good.
question. So they moved from meter to utility?
Yes, so they're, as they're reading meters, because it's going so quick, they're able to do either some town tags, or if they find a meter leak or things like that, then they've transitioned. Yes.
perfect. I mean, I'd hate to lose that wealth of information that they were trained on the job for, you know?
Yeah.
So that's great. Thank you.
Bullet number 7 there, I just think it's interesting. I bring this up from time to time that we've completed our annual testing of the district backflow devices. So we have a number of our own backflow devices besides the public's. These are our own. They've been tested and any repairs have been made if need be. Also, you'll see pictures of this later. Bullet number 10 there, shut down and fire up on confidence tank fill line so construction maintenance could install T valve assembly for a new pressure reducing station and bypass line. You'll see pictures about that later. Page 9, you can see there's a lot of projects, CIP or otherwise, in process, and a bunch of tanks, more tanks all at one time than you've ever seen in any point in time of this district or our predecessor district. So again, this is important work that we need to be doing, and I'm really proud of staff for taking on the challenge and getting so many done at once. Not to mention all the ones we've completed in the past. Page 10, just more evidence of the distribution team, some of the before and after work and quality of work. You know, we know we're out there in the public right away. We're out in the public eye, and we want to be good. We want to be good neighbors, not sloppy with what we do. And here's just some evidence of doing good, important work, but leaving behind a good product. Page 11. Construction maintenance, you know, that sums 22 leaks, which isn't a record by far, but it is more than we'd like to have, but it is what it is. But all the while, the construction maintenance crews are working on a number, you know, got their hands on a number of projects, tank projects and other water projects and sewer projects. So on page 12 there, you can see they've pretty much wrapped up their involvement with the Willow Springs Sewer Lift Station. I think all we're waiting for is pavement when the season comes and fencing. So that's all we'll have, and then look forward to an opportunity for us to have a ribbon cutting ceremony out there when the weather and time permit. So yeah,
So back to tanks real quick.
sorry.
How many tanks do we have now in service? Just ballpark,
About 60.
about 60. Okay, that's good. I remember when I came on this board 7 years ago, I believe we had about 80. So that is incredible.
Yeah.
We've
When I first started, yeah.
gotten rid of 25% of our tanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Which some people say, well, what happened to the storage? But that's a good thing, because that was a rotten bunch of 25%. So
Yeah,
that's good. Good job.
Yeah, not haphazardly.
Yeah,
Just getting
right.
rid of tanks. We really put a lot of.
Very strategic, right, Don? That's the
Strategic.
word you like to use.
A little strategic. We haven't really lost the volume anywhere. We've just moved it in a more smarter, useful spot.
Good job.
I'll be talking about one of those. Well, right now on page 13, you can see that picture, see the picture of that work I was talking about with the construction crews putting in the bypass around an old confidence tank that is nearing the end of its useful life. Now, we, just to your point, Jeff, back in 2013, a tree fell down on a tank at Zone 2. Engineering department and operations got together and said, hey, you know, someday that confidence tank is going to go out of service. Maybe we put that volume, we store that volume there and eliminate that tank. Well, that day has come and we have the same volume and we eventually will have more. And that's kind of the work you're talking about. So really happy about that. See page 14, just some evidence, some pictures, say 1,000 words of the work we're doing up at Peaceful Pines. That tank up there has saw the end of its useful life. So we'll be constructing a new tank up there. And then down in Jamestown, the Valley Vista tank, you can see our crews have done that work there. And eventually the tank contracting crews will be there to erect the tank. Page 15, there's some Zone 2 work, tank. Okay, page 16. I thought this was interesting, and it's not the first I've heard of this, but I like to point these out when I can. Under collection staff responded to 4 reports of sanitary sewer overflows. Number 2 is interesting. It's on Washington Street. Someone had put a 10-inch 4x4 piece of, wood in the sewer line. And that is what led to the overflow. Yeah, so we just have to deal with those things. And so, that's just part of the deal. Page 17, I also think this is important, under collection, CIP projects, SCADA lift station upgrades, equipment has been received. So we're making great strides in our ability to monitor remotely a lot of our wastewater and water systems. So as often as we can, we like to make these improvements. So better access and control. Wastewater treatment, again, weather's been fine. There hasn't been a lot of issues. There's nothing really note to report there. Page 19, we should recognize that Tim McCormick has successfully, he's under Eric Johnson's, he's our inspector, has obtained his water distribution grade 2 certification. And then in construction and maintenance, Brennan Emerald has obtained his grade 1 water distribution certificate.
One second, you said the inspector?
Yeah, Tim's our inspector.
Okay. It was a question that I've been thinking about for quite some time now is, do we have an actual inspector that?
We do.
is
Tim's
up to
been with
the
us for a
job?
number of years now. Well, coming up on a year. I see him so often, I feel like we have a relationship now. Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing
Good.
real good,
Good.
coming up to speed. And it's good for them to, even though he's, not even though, while he is an inspector, it's important for him to have this baseline knowledge of what it takes to maintain it.
Absolutely. I mean, especially when he's out on the job and he's got to talk one-on-one with a contractor.
Right. And finally, it's important for me, for all of us to keep aware that we have a great appreciation for our employees' safety, and we put a lot of effort in that. And this last month in December, we spent 311 hours on safety training alone. For me.
Any questions?
So,
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. So underground service alerts, 100 calls, 100 of those a month you average probably, huh?
USA's?
Yeah, per department.
Per department.
Yeah.
So total for TUD.
Distribution and sewer collections, they get the most of them. Raw water, that's probably about a 25 average there. But between distribution and collections, it's
So who handles all those? Who gets to go out and check those out and report back? And
staff that's trained on USA's doing it.
it's not just one person's job, it's several
It's
people.
multiple people's jobs.
Yeah, okay. That's a lot. That's a lot. My
Yes.
little company, we had 60 for the year and I thought that was a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's been high this year with pole replacement, PG&Es with their work. It's been very busy.
Yeah, PG&E's been very active, so, yeah. So each department probably handles their own, I'm sure.
Yes, they do.
And several
And the
people within each
distribution will
department.
help raw water too.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
all.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any question? No? Okay. Well, that's not an action item. So I guess at this point, what we'll do is have a minor recess of about 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
then we will come back at what? I don't know. Yeah, let's make it 10 till. Yeah?
Yeah, we say 10:50?
Yeah,
10:50.
yeah,
See you back at 10:50.
that's it. Okay, we're back in session and Melissa, would you please?
Okay, item number 7, Coach's Corner 2025 year in review.
Okay, I guess before our GM takes us away on this, I just wanted to let the board know something that they maybe know, maybe don't know. Do you realize that this board is the most educated board that TUD has ever had? Never, ever has a board known as much as what this board knows about the operations of TUD, the facilities, the employees, staff, and what they do. And it's all because of that guy right there. A little over a year ago, when I was talking to him about what we're going to do for the next year, said, you know, Don, I think it might be a good idea if you do something like a coach's corner. I mean, you're a coach. We need to enlighten the board, let them know how things work so that they can do their job better. He looked at me kind of out of the corner of his eye, but he grabbed the bull by the horns, and here we are today. Man, thank you so much for doing what you've done. You've really done a great job. It's yours.
You're quite welcome. Always happy to. One of the things I've learned, I by the way, if you haven't figured it out, I love working here at TUD. I always have after my first 6 months. When I knew they were going to keep me, I started really liking it. But it's really awesome to share our story and what we do and how complicated it is and all the successes and challenges. We don't always win every day, but you know, we strive to win every day. But what we do is very complicated. And it is near impossible for you all to understand all of the intricacies that goes on. It's impossible unless you spend 20 years here, experience all the different seasons, all the different things and all the different departments. It's really difficult. So I'm happy to do so. I did give Director Ringen a cross-eyed look when he asked that because I don't really, anyway, but I'm happy to do so. And obviously I have a lot of support that helps me do this. So this first Coach's Corner is something that we have been planning for several months for this particular meeting. I don't have a handout. We recognized that last year we were accomplishing an awful lot. And I felt like I wanted an opportunity to put a bow on it and make sure that we actually take a few minutes and celebrate the success of last year so we can put that in a rearview mirror and look forward to the next year or two, because we've got just as much as all the things we accomplished, wonderful things that we got accomplished, we have a lot right in front of us too. So I'd like to really celebrate this, put a button on, a bow on it, and call it a day. So I had Abby, I asked Abby if she would do a better job of introducing the item, but this is really something that her and her team have put together over a few months. A lot of us has contributed in one way or another with our thoughts and things. So Abby, will you introduce a little bit more than I did?
Well, that was great, and thank you, President Ringen, too, because you had a great segue, because you're going to see a lot of your points in this video that we did too with the teamwork. And yeah, so Dawn said we really wanted to capture the accomplishments of 2025, and we had a lot of them, and it took every single person here in this room, out in the district, to accomplish all the things that we did. We have so much more to do, but it is nice to be able to celebrate some wins, and so to keep the momentum going to continue for the future. So I'm thrilled to present this video to you. It's about a 5-minute video, so it feels long in video world these days, but it was hard to keep it. It was hard to shorten it any more than that. So in 2025, TUD did, what you're going to see in the video is TUD did strengthen its financial stability, earn top transparency recognition, advance major water and wastewater infrastructure and projects that improve reliability and the resiliency and fire resilience across the county. We expanded community outreach, deepened regional partnerships, and continued investing in our employees, highlighting the teamwork that drives our mission forward. So with that, let's take a look at our accomplishments and highlights for the 2025 calendar year. And so I hope you enjoy. I'm going to do my best to make sure we get this video rolling just right for you with Corey's help. Thank you very much, Corey. And let me go here to get rid of that box. Trying to get rid of the little boxes. Okay, that went away. Okay, we will get going here. Oh, no sound. I did.
Intermission already.
Intermission. This worked just yesterday. I'll stop sharing and do it one more time.
Jesse, you look bored.
Share sound, optimize for video.
Hi, Eric.
Who's dunce cap?
Mine.
There we go.
2025 was a year defined by progress and people. At Tuolumne Utilities District, every project, every partnership, and every milestone was powered by a simple goal: serving our community with reliability, care, and integrity. Here's what we accomplished together this past year. We were proud to earn the District Transparency Certificate of Excellence and be recognized as a District of Distinction. These awards reflect something deeper than good governance. They reflect trust and a shared commitment to our customers. This year, we also hit an important milestone behind the scenes. We recorded our lowest workers' compensation experience rating ever. That's a big deal. It reflects a strong culture of safety across the district and earned TUD the President's Special Recognition Award from our workers' compensation carrier. Just as important, it helps keep insurance costs lower, allowing more resources to go where they matter most. TUD received a clean fiscal year 2024-25 audit, reaffirming our strong financial footing. We pursued nearly $22 million in pending grant funding, making every effort to bring in outside dollars. Our capital improvement program invested nearly $14 million into critical upgrades, and with reserves at about $21 million, we continue preparing for today's needs and tomorrow's challenges. Across Tuolumne County, we advanced projects that protect our water supply, improve fire resilience, and strengthen the systems our customers depend on. The Sierra Pines Regional Water Treatment Facility, grant and low-interest loan funded, continued moving forward, an important step toward a sustainable future. The Remote Read Meter project pushed toward 100% deployment by the end of 2025, increasing labor efficiency and improving accuracy for our customers. We made meaningful progress on the Summit distribution improvements and completed the Launchway intertie, lower Launchway improvement, and the Techite pipe replacement project. Storage reliability improved through rehabilitation or replacement of numerous storage tanks. Major upgrades, like the Mount Provo distribution improvements and the Nine Sisters tank and fire flow upgrades, moved forward thanks to grants and strong partnerships with the Tuolumne Band of Miwok Indians. And as wildfire seasons grow more severe, the TUD Board adopted both the Wildfire Risk Mitigation Plan and the Fire Water Draft Point Plan, developed entirely through grant funding, with 5 draft points already installed. We completed multiple fuels reduction projects, including targeted grazing. Yes, the goats were back, and once again they got the job done. We also continued pursuing senior water rights, essential work for water security. Other key upgrades included the Sullivan Creek Bridge crossing, a new raw water feed pump at the Sonora Water Treatment Plant, the new Willow Springs Sewer Lift Station, SCADA enhancements, 2 new excavators to boost in-house construction, and safety improvements at the Twainhart Wastewater Treatment Facility. We strengthened our presence in the community at the Reclamation Luncheon, Home and Garden Show, and multiple ribbon cuttings, including the White Fur Tank Celebration. Students and families connected with water firsthand through 2 care tours, school visits, and local career days. We were featured on Aqua News, partnered with the Tuolumne Construction Pre-Apprenticeship Program, and signed the Career Technical Education Declaration, reinforcing our support for local students. And we welcomed Congressman Tom McClintock to tour the Sierra Pines Regional Water Treatment Facility site and new fire water draft points. TUD expanded to 11 mutual assistance agreements and strengthened relationships with regional partners, including agencies not only in Tuolumne County but across the river, such as Calaveras County Water District. We also hosted the Mountain Counties Water Resources Association regional meeting, bringing a diverse group of community partners together with the goal of better communication and cooperation for healthy watersheds and forests, and stayed active in local groups focused on natural resources, emergency planning, and fire safety. Of course, our employees are the heart of TUD. This year we stayed connected through numerous events, celebrating partnership and shared dedication of our agency. In 2025, the TUD board and staff put a renewed focus on teamwork. Our general manager hosted monthly Coaches Corner sessions, connecting employees with TUD's history, mission, and future. We also rolled out a 5-part Meet the Team series, giving every department a chance to share what they do and how their work supports our community every single day. 2025 was a year of meaningful progress and purpose. Thank you to our employees, our board, our partners, and our community for helping build a stronger, more resilient Tuolumne County. We're proud to serve you and excited for the road ahead.
Is that
Love
all?
it. Fantastic.
Is that all there is? My goodness.
Great job.
Yeah.
Answer questions or any for Dawn as well.
Will this be on our website?
Yes, we will get it updated to our website as well.
Great.
Yeah.
Great, great tool.
It's really touching.
Me too. Them darn goats get me every time.
They're so cute.
No, excellent, excellent job. It's been a busy year, I know, and it really hits you when you see it like stacked together like that. I mean, it's a lot of stuff getting done around here. Good job.
Yeah, we can't do it without your help, without your support, your faith in us, you know, and the community, the partners we talk about. It takes all of us to get it done. So on to next year.
Great.
No questions?
Thanks for the popcorn, Hallie. It's awesome.
Okay, no questions, no comments? Fine. Do what? Oh, yeah, that's, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Come on now.
Oh, man. I'm out of words. I know Abby's gonna kick me from afar because I'm forgetting something. So I'll pass the buck. May was there. Oh, yeah, Moeller. So, you know, we've been talking about Moeller Mutual Water Company and the potential consolidation. We've worked on it for years. You know, many items have been before the board. for approval till we get to this point where we were just offered a funding package for that consolidation project. And that has just as much of a benefit to TUD and its ratepayers as it does to the Mueller Mutual Water Company. So that's another thing to celebrate first in 2026. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Nothing to report.
I'll just add on that the funding package is 4.4 million. And so, not that I'm keeping tabs, but that's over $30 million of grant funding in the last 2 years. But other than that, I have nothing to report.
And the only thing I have to report is that, which I said last time, but you will soon be seeing mid-year budget review.
And just a couple of reports from me. Yesterday at the Tuolumne Water Treatment Plant, which many of you attended a tour and open house there a couple of months ago. But yesterday at the treatment plant, Keith Hockett and Jakin Laxag from our water treatment division hosted fifth graders from Somerville Elementary School and gave them a tour of the plant and talked about the water cycle and how it's treated and how it gets to their homes and their school. And just the teacher that I was in contact with, Kathleen Washington, just sent a really wonderful email yesterday just saying that everyone had fun, that our employees are amazing, and that they hope to have another one soon with TUD. So that was really cool. They are studying the water cycle, so this worked really well into their curriculum. Yeah.
And so you made sure you had the sign-up sheet there for future treatment operators?
Yeah, right. Yes, interest forms, exactly, yes.
Great.
Good idea. And then we just had a couple, over the last month, we've had a couple of commendations from our customers. So I usually share these with you. So one was back actually the day after our last meeting in that I didn't share with you. A caller wanted to call and pass along some kudos for our staff. He had an issue starting in October, and so TUD went out. There was a mainline break. TUD crews went out, made the mainline break, but there was some issues with or concerns on the customer's side for erosion and worried about the winter coming. And so our crew worked with them. Louis, Tyler, Josh, CJ, Bradley, and Zach, all from our construction maintenance crew, went out there. They repaired the 8-inch C900 line and also just did our part to make sure that we protected our pipeline, but also to help him with his concerns on the erosion so that nothing would happen. That his name was Mr. Garcia. And he just called in and just wanted to say everyone was just great and just really attentive to his concerns and doing right by the public. So wanted to share that with you. And then we also received a call just about a week ago from Mr. Robert Dittler, who is a board member at Jamestown Sanitary District, also a retiree from TUD. And he saw our TUD crew working downtown on Stockton Street. And he just said that the crew is just doing an amazing job. He has firsthand witness to how complicated the underground system is in downtown Sonora, and just said they were just working like clockwork. And he just thought it would be important for us to know that they just did a fantastic job down there, managing traffic, managing pedestrians, managing all the equipment, and they just smooth like clockwork. So thank you, Robert Dittler, for that. And that's the end of my report.
Okay, well, I guess we'll bring it back to the board. Who would like to go first? All right, you're up.
The only thing I have to report is I did the interview performance on the 15th.
And I have nothing to report this time.
On the 13th, I had a meeting with President Ringen and General Manager Perkins about the upcoming regional wastewater facility group. And in the past, we've had TUD, Jamestown, and Twain Hart in that. And this time we've invited Tuolumne and Groveland to join us to look at we have mutual assistance agreements with the folks, and we're going to share cost-saving ideas. It should make all of us just a little 2% more efficient and cost a little less money. Then about a week later, I had an in-depth meeting with President Ringen about the possibility in the future of installing a biochar facility to handle biosolids. President Ringen's been working on this for about 2 years. About 6 months ago, Director Jacobs and I came up with kind of the same idea, and they have melded together. Project would be out one to 3 years minimum. It's a long time from now. But the driver behind it is perchloroalkyds and polychloroalkyds, PFAS. We keep hearing about PFAS, and they're forever chemicals, and they're going to be a problem. But the governmental regulation is coming, but it'll take a while to get here, maybe 3 years. So we're going to stay ahead of the curve, and we want the thing to be self-sustaining financially. We've had help from District Engineer Johnson and his staff in trying to make sure that whatever we build will be financially self-sustaining to meet the regulations and keep the costs off the backs of our ratepayers. That's all I got.
Yes, I have, I also met with, Zoom meeting with Dan Keene, who is helping with the performance evaluation, GM performance evaluation on the 19th. In terms of federal affairs, the Federal Affairs Committee organizational meeting is actually going to be tomorrow. And just to clarify how the meetings work, there are 4 per year. Two occur during the Aqua conferences, and the other 2 occur Zoom meetings. So the first one will be tomorrow. Speaking of PFAS, on the federal affairs front, there is the National Special Districts Association is pursuing a liability exemption for PFAS. And then also there is Aqua has requested that $15 billion be set aside for PFAS issues over the next decade. So hopefully we can take advantage of some of those funds that are going to be presumably made available. Secondly, or in addition, there's a bill called the Community Protection and Wildfire Resilience Act. And it's really tailored for special districts. It opens substantial direct grant opportunities for water protection, utility, and emergency services, particularly those serving wildfire-prone regions. One of the key things with that is the bill establishes a $1 billion annual FEMA grant program to help communities develop and implement community protection and wildfire resilience plans. So the grants anticipated would include up to $250,000 for planning and up to $10 million for implementation. So given the wooden flume situation we have, it's something we definitely want to stay on top of and see if we might be eligible for some of those funds. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
That's pretty impressive.
On 1:15, had a meeting with our consultant, GM evaluation process. 1:21, meeting with GM Perkins, board agenda and TUD business and issues. 1:21 was a T-Stan WAC meeting. The basic part of the meeting was continuing to prep for the new DWR guidelines for, we can't figure out what they're doing. They won't answer us, even letters, phone calls. I mean, they'll talk to us, but they won't tell us where they're going. So we don't know whether the IRWIN program is going to be eliminated and something new put in its place, but we're forging ahead, putting together our own plan, so to speak, in preparation for whatever comes down the pike. I mean, it's better to be prepared one way or another than just sit on our hands and then suddenly find out that we've been eliminated. Because that group has brought a ton of money into this area that the ratepayers and the regular constituents of the Tuolumne County could never have afforded. So anyway, we're moving forward. And then on 123, even though I'm no longer on the legislative committee for Mountain Counties, I still attended it, and for good reason. I was on it for years, and it's not like I need something to do. I got way too much to do, but was like to keep an eye on what they're doing, because what they evaluate, we have a lobbyist, by the way, for Mountain Counties, and a very good one that keeps the legislative committee up to date continually. And that what the legislative committee does is sort of boil everything down and then have certain things that they feel is of importance that they then suggest to the board as to a direction to go in. And it keeps the board up to date, moving in the right direction. So one of the things that came up that I want you, GM Perkins, to keep an eye on, I'll help you with this, keeping an eye on it, is El Dorado Irrigation District is sponsoring legislation regarding Surplus Lands Act. And it's very important to us as far as I'm concerned, because what they're trying to do is eliminate that baloney that we have to go through in order to put it up for sale. All that, you know what I'm talking about. I can't explain it, but you know what I'm talking about. Well, for anything that's not, what brought it up was lands that could be used for low-income housing. So that's where the grief came in. And so I guess they're selling some property that's way out in the boondocks that there's no way that that can be used for housing or low income. And so they're trying to come up with some legislation that'll eliminate that for lands that cannot be used for housing, especially low income stuff. So we would want to support that, I would think, a big way. There was several other very important things, which I won't get into. One of them I will. They're keeping a very close eye on that CARB, the California Air Resources Board Clean Fleets thing. So they're all over that and going to be on that big time. And then my suggestion to them was, before the meeting ended, is that they keep a close eye, a hairy eyeball out for anything that has to do with PFAS or nanoplastics, so that there's any legislation that suddenly start talking about it, that we know about it right away so we can jump on it. So anyway, I believe that is it for me. Yep. So anything for the good of the group? If not, guess what? We are adjourned at 11:19.